Hello YouTube, Ronan Kazi. This is it. This is what you've been waiting for in Diablo. World Tier 3. So, another YouTuber and I, Sl0thm00ds, decided, he had asked if I was interested in doing the World Tier mission, Cathedral of Light, you know, where you get to go to the next tier level. I was like, sure. So we kind of synchronized our plane so we could get to do the mission together. He is a necromancer. He's pretty badass. And I am a druid. Recently I had some content where another YouTuber, Meech or Randy Moss 7908, was telling me that druid's one of the more played classes that he's seen. From some of the things I've read on the interweb, it's not, but here we are nonetheless. The necromancer is super powerful. And my druid build is okay. My druid build, if you followed me at all, I wanted to be a werewolf or a bear, and I just didn't think those did well in dungeons on the open world. They were just fantastic. So I have a little bit of a hybrid. So my bread and butter skills is I have the Storm Strike, which is the melee skill, whatever it's called, and it's my energy charger. So when I use it, I will make people vulnerable and it will spread. So it's pretty good in that, but it means I have to get in the melee range for my generator, which I'm not a super big fan of. But what happens then is the core skill is this lightning storm, which is just absolutely fantastic. And the longer I do it, the more it does and the more damage, and it's fantastic. I have a self-heal. I have the Howling Moon or whatever it's called for the wolf, where I get 25% heal. Maybe it's 20% heal. I have Hurricane. I have Wolves, and then I'm going to call it Creeping Vine, but it's whatever that is. So Hurricane is an AoE around me skill. Creeping Vine freeze or immobilizes and poisons everyone. And Lightning's an AoE skill. I'm a really big believer in the AoE skills. I see there's an advantage for Druid in single target stuff. That might be Werewolf. If I was in a group and other people were doing that kind of stuff, I'd feel comfortable doing that. Or if I had to be a tank. But this build is by far, I've spent, even before we did this, I spent 300,000 specking and unspecking between, you know, because I really want to play Werebear and Werewolf. One of the things that happens as I spend Spirit on doing a skill, it also heals me 1%. So that's what you're seeing is, as long as I'm doing lightning, I'm pulsing my health back up. Subsequent videos, I've got a ton of thorns. I got like 650 thorns. So I played the barbarian. You might have seen the video where I have everyone at level 18 roughly and running through the similar content. And what I was astounded by is the barbarian without having any heals at that level is just fantastic. One of the things about Diablo that I enjoy is that you can go back and sell stuff. That's one of the great things about the game. Blizzard also makes the content very accessible. You get to see the whole game. You're not stuck, you know, some of it's locked out because you won't do harder stuff. And so what I found in this last part, it wasn't that hard. You can see that Sl0thm00ds is higher level than me. Maybe you can't see that. I was trying to level when he said, hey, I'm ready. He's 52 and I think I'm 50 at this point. But my build's pretty good for me. I think it's pretty survivable. When I was littler, I probably had 2 defensive skills. And now I just, I really like that I heal myself on some of the stuff. The Hurricane is great. And I have companion skills, the Creeping Vines and the dogs. And I'm probably a pet-based player all the time. In the Division 2, I play with skills. It's my favorite thing to have like a turret out to take some aggro. In every single game, I like having a companion because they usually take the aggro. But as I've played Diablo 4 more, I got used to strafing again. And the problem with strafing is you can't put a lot of damage, but with this build where I can turn on Hurricane, or I can freeze people in place, or I can do lightning, it doesn't really matter. I can do damage all around me. In Hurricane, you literally can be moving while you're doing damage. This is normally when I ask you to like, subscribe, share, unsubscribe, resubscribe. And so you shouldn't be afraid if you have this last mission. I think it's pretty easy. I don't know how it is. It was pretty easy for Sloth. He's 52, but I don't think the scaling, we're still in World Tier 2. Recently did a video about critical thinking in this build comparison between the different classes. Maybe it wasn't a build comparison, it was a class comparison. I think at this point I'm pretty solid with this build. I have some pieces that are pretty high, so after this I've started improving my gear and really honing in. So I like the build I have. There's Sloth coming and his minions. So now we're on the final part against the boss. I've locked Sloth out. We're talking on Discord, and that usually helps coordinate things, but either he'll run ahead or I'll run ahead. We still haven't gotten to a thing, and I don't think that matters. I think that's okay in the gameplay. I think he has to move forward, and then it starts like a counter for him. And there we go. So the first test I'm going to do is, can I just stand there? So I've blown all my AoE things, and I'm starting, you can see my health goes down a little bit, and I'm lightning. The danger is when I run out of spirit, that's when I get in trouble a little bit. So I got to build that back up and then go back to lightning. You see it gets the health up. And so now he has some of his own, you know, unguided things, and you can see my health's like at 3/4. And I'm doing okay. But these alpha strikes, that's when a mob, and you can see I have to blow like a I kind of have two, my number one skill, and then I had to do a potion. So at this point I realize I'm going to have to go through potions. He's putting out poison, he has all kinds of other stuff. So I'm just trying to avoid an alpha strike where he does so much damage and I'm not tanky enough to take that initial burst and heal after it. I'm okay if I can get my skills, if my spirit's up, which means I have to have my generator going, which means I have to get in melee and I have to get in his way, so then I can start lightning again. Sometimes I forget to do my dog, or it's a little, yeah, there's an alpha strike and I'm almost dead. And I get out of there. So my pots are good. The boss is down at 50%. Like I said, this isn't too hard. It just avoid everything. That didn't feel good. And so I guess, you know, a lot of times having you know, hazardous kind of protection, you know, against like that stun would be good. That's really, you can pretty much count on getting killed if they stun lock you, you know, and you can't get to a healing pot or something. The other thing is that blind. I don't know if that's blind or whatever. I hate that also. So I would entertain a build with that. And there was another commenter, Just a Gamer. I really got to thank him. Earlier when I was playing this, he said, hey, it's not going to be as easy as you get into higher level stuff. So I really changed the build and really looked on the focus of it, of, you know, being able to immobilize things, always putting some pressure on them, poisoning them or whatever. And so that I really got to thank him, because it really changed. You know, I could have probably played the game as a werewolf or a bear and would have been okay, but it wasn't as easy as it was with this build. This build is easy mode. And really the star of it is, you know, the poison creeper. So really that's my main thing. And then the lightning kind of has gone good. So I appreciate YouTube. You're going to see me get up to World Tier 3 in Diablo. Some exciting things in the next phase. Look, a couple legendaries drop. Couple exciting missions I've done with Sloth. We did some getting some of those codex things, the emblems or whatever for your weapons. That's been pretty good. So I'm kind of at a crossroads here. I don't mind the Division. I've been playing Destiny. I like Destiny a lot, but Destiny, the mechanic for me is a little bit busted in that it's hard for me to grind the same things for minimal gain in gear. The gear drops are a little bit lower and slower. So what I like about Destiny, there's a lot of strategy in how you play things, but I kind of like looter shooters, so I kind of realize I'm at a point where why I kind of stopped playing Destiny. And so I think you saw me play Diablo Immortal. That was kind of good. I played Diablo 3 when it was out. Of course, didn't YouTube any of that. But so you've seen there's been a lot of Diablo content. I'll probably go into the Division. Probably when those new Division games come out, I'll probably do a bunch of stuff on that. The Division 2 is just, it's, you know, I beat it. I don't know what else I can do. It's pretty easy to win in that. There we go. There's Nightmare. Now, quick fact, I can't select it because we're in a group, because we're not together. So we disband and then I can select it. Took me a second to do that. You might see I pause here for a second and go offline. And I'm looking it up. And you can see there's the Paragon points. That's kind of like the new leveling system. So again, I appreciate all that. It's more mature in the end game. Already at the start. There's some things. I think you saw Sloth's his field, his poison field. It's too big on the screen. It's kind of a pain in the ass. World Tier 3. Just like nothing. I appreciate your help in getting to 500 subs. If you can like, subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, share it. I'll let people know that some of the videos are okay. I would really appreciate it. I need your help, and I want to thank you. So again, this is Ronan Kazi signing off. World Tier 3 YouTube. Woohoo!